3 law firms on retainer. I don't know how much money is coming in, but I know that a lot of money is going out every single month for Diddy.
That thing, and I was big man. That was the extent of our beat.
We're staring down what might be the most explosive reckoning hip-hop has ever seen. And this time, it's not just rival gangs or faceless men in dark cars. Under scrutiny, Jay-Z and Diddy themselves are now entangled in a web spun by none other than the FBI. In just the last 24 hours, reports surfaced that investigators have secured real video and audio, evidence not blurry bootlegs or street rumors placing Jay-Z at the center of the plot that silenced Shakur in LA nearly 30 years ago. When we say smoking gun, we mean direct recordings, capturing Jay-Z's alleged orchestration firsthand. The industry is still reeling. Whispers have erupted into headlines. Could this be the moment the world's most famous rap billionaire trades his Maybach for a prison sentence?
You gotta figure, we never met.
So you and Tupac never met. That was just...
So it's nothing personal. Him and Big went through their thing.
The urgency here isn't just tabloid noise. FBI insiders describe the evidence as a chilling bombshell, so damning that warrants for Jay-Z's arrest are reportedly in the works. Diddy, already buried under a storm of legal drama, is reportedly on the same short list. These aren't rumors that vanish after a meme cycle. This is the kind of revelation that sends entourages into hiding and has corporate lawyers reaching for the brown spirits. The betrayal. It's personal, almost Shakespearean. For decades, these two built empires, dropped platinum albums, and sold a generation on the grind to the top. But behind the glitz, if these tapes hold up, that fame came at a horrifying price. The silencing of hip-hop's most electrifying star, all for a seat among the untouchable elite.
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he had to, he won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70. That's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house.
And that brings us to the twisted spine of the plot. This wasn't just gang beef gone nuclear, it was cold, calculated business. Sources now rattled with fear say Jay-Z and Diddy were offered a deal, orchestrate Shakur's exit, and receive the keys to the kingdom: limitless money, unstoppable influence, permanent untouchable status. The stakes were everything. The cost? Unthinkable. If true, the mythology of hip-hop moguls is built on the bones of the very man whose lyrics ignited. The world now whispers speak of a vault hidden somewhere in Jay-Z's Los Angeles mansion. Industry veterans insist it exists. Fortified, full of confidential files, hush-hush audio, and who knows how many blackmail treasures. Were the Grammy stage power moves we watched just the visible tip of an iceberg built on years of secrets and leverage? Former associates speculate that Jay-Z's calm, untouchable persona wasn't just branding, it was insurance. And insiders say the FBI has already subpoenaed the blueprints.
I felt like, they had a whole lot of potential. Jay was more quiet. But I mean, I learned that Jay was being quiet because he was taking notes. He was taking notes, observing everything, taking it all in. Because, sometimes you're around and you're watching to see things to do.
Just when we thought the scandal had reached its peak, the streets erupted with an even wilder twist. What if Shakur never actually left? For years, truthers chased grainy photos from Cuba to B's, dissecting cryptic lyrics and hotel surveillance clips. Now, reports escalate from urban legend to front-page speculation. Michael Nice, a former Black Panther security officer who worked with Shakur's family and claims to have aided a covert escape, insists Shakur faked his death and has been living in Cuba under government protection. Before his own mysterious accident, Nice told TMZ, "Why do you think nobody's been arrested if they were the ones responsible?" He also claimed to hold video evidence of Fidel Castro, approving the operation, including a double body switch and strict instructions: keep low, stay silent, and wait. The mere idea of Shakur returning has the industry in panic, rumors suggest. The FBI's recent moves aren't just about arresting Jay-Z or adding Diddy to a mounting legal pile. They could be setting the stage for Shakur, the Phantom, to step out of the shadows and testify. Imagine it, while the world mourned. While Diddy built his sparkling beverage empire and Jay-Z inked NFL deals, Shakur was biding his time, ready to blow the lid off everything. For fans, this wouldn't just be survival, it would be ultimate vindication. Private investigator Jimmy Poole claims to have photos of Shakur alive, appearing as a 40-something posing with a fan in bees.
Yes, on your own platform. He said this on your platform that he put up $1 million to get Pac.
Yeah, correct. He was around Puffy and Puffy made a comment when they was around, yeah.
Industry insiders reportedly sweat bullets at the thought of Shakur returning to testify. It wouldn't just put Jay-Z and Diddy in jeopardy, it would threaten the entire culture of silence. The unspoken rules about who gets protection and who gets thrown to the wolves. What happens if the man they tried to erase steps forward, naming names and exposing the architects of his supposed demise? Is the hip-hop empire ready for its founding myth to collapse on national television? And what might those vaults and tapes reveal about the cost of building a legacy on betrayal? Meanwhile, conspiracy hunters are revisiting Shakur's lyrics, especially on his Machiavelli album, which some interpret as foreshadowing his exit and leaving cryptic warnings ignored back in '96. The streets are watching. Old heads remember. The theories? If he really was gone, why did the coroner's report list him taller and heavier than reality? Why did the cremation director retire and disappear the next day? Why did Shakur's own mother hint that her son had quietly chosen to vanish?
I'm not gonna live, past a certain time, or, I know I'm gonna get shot up. He knew that. That was, the one thing that he did know.
As this scandal unfolds, everything we thought we knew about hip-hop's biggest icons comes into question. Jay-Z, often the man with the answers, the steady hand behind the scenes, now looks more like a chess piece than the player. Diddy, who always stayed one step ahead of scandal, sees his legacy teetering as mounting criminal charges slowly erode his Teflon shield. And Shakur, if these rumors hold, the man they couldn't silence is waiting in the wings, poised to reclaim his story, with the world watching and the entire house of cards trembling beneath him.
If that's part of the indictment, that's somewhat like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak-offs. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, yo, listen here, you did it once and you're gonna do it again. That ain't gonna make it with the government or nobody.
With every passing hour, the pressure escalates. The music industry braces for a spectacle unlike anything before. Rival executives are reportedly lawyering up, old friends vanish from the public eye, and social media explodes with leaked texts and secondhand accounts from anyone who has ever stepped into a studio with the accused. Meanwhile, the clock ticks, and the FBI's next move could blow open hip-hop's deepest secret. Amid the chaos, the shadow of another kingpin looms, Suge Knight. No matter how deep we dig into the FBI's evidence or the rumors about secret vaults and hidden testimony, Suge's name refuses to fade. Was he mastermind, puppet, or both? A man notorious in LA as a ruthless operator, feared, admired, and always ensuring his enemies felt. Fahid Suge's role is now back under scrutiny, not just as the man riding shotgun the night Shakur was gunned down, but potentially as someone pulling strings from both sides of the chessboard.
I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make up their brand.
Suge has always survived every storm: federal raids, bankruptcies, industry blacklists. Some insiders suggest he pitched Diddy and Jay-Z against each other, manipulating the East Coast-West Coast feud to serve his own agenda, while letting others take the fall. This new scrutiny isn't just from bloggers or YouTube theorists. It comes from recently unsealed court documents and hours of grand jury testimony. A former associate claims Suge likely knew more than anyone and fed both sides, just enough rope to hang themselves. When he went down on unrelated charges, he still went out swinging, posting cryptic messages and hinting that justice for Shakur was still coming. In this latest chapter, Suge's presence feels less about answers and more about ensuring nobody walks away clean.
If you look at it, they committed fraud. They committed bankruptcy fraud. I didn't lose my company by doing anything wrong.
The legal net is tightening everywhere, but nowhere is it more damning than around Diddy. Years of rumors, mysterious cash envelopes, sudden bodyguard shifts, whispered deals after platinum parties now have federal investigators following the money trail. According to Keefe D., who admitted involvement in Shakur's shooting, Diddy allegedly offered $1 million to ensure Shakur was silenced. The payout, the meetings, the contract, all detailed in court filings and transcribed for the world, show this is no longer street talk.
Named Diddy 77 times in court documents related to Tupac's murder.
For years, Diddy's image was untouchable. Business mogul, party host, pop culture icon, the man who danced in the rain and toasted with presidents and stars alike. But what if this same man, who built his brand on unity and collaboration, ALLEGEDLY, financed one of music history's most infamous hits just to clear the path for his empire? Fans are left questioning everything. We've watched his slow fall from grace over the past year: human trafficking indictments, racketeering, charges endless lawsuits leaving only broken NDAs and former collaborators burned by betrayal. Now, with the FBI scrutinizing every wire transfer and studio expense, the threat of more arrests looms large. The question keeps growing. If the $1 million contract is real, who else benefited? Did it stop with Keefe D and his crew? Or is there a larger web of payouts, hush money, and silence stretching into boardrooms, record labels, and even law enforcement? One industry veteran, speaking off the record, warned, "Diddy's old ledgers ever see the light? The list of names will shock you." The authorities remain silent, but that quiet carries more weight than headlines. A payout this calculated doesn't happen without accomplices, and now the dominoes may fall far beyond the usual suspects. Beneath the headlines, another thread has captivated fans and theorists for decades: Shakur's hidden messages in his music. Some argue the clues to this tangled conspiracy aren't in vaults or wiretaps but buried deep in his posthumous album Machiavelli. Released just weeks after his supposed death, fans dissected every lyric, every image, searching for coded confessions. The very name Machiavelli nods to Niccolo Machiavelli, the strategist who wrote about faking one's death to deceive enemies. Rearranged, some say it reads, "I'm alive. K." Suddenly, what seemed like bravado now feels like a warning or a message left for those seeking the truth. Entire online communities still comb through lyrics like "Bomb First" and "Hail Mary," decoding references to betrayal, surveillance, and secret enemies. Shakur's cover art, showing him crucified yet unbowed, deepened the sense of foreshadowing, perhaps hinting at his escape or planned return. Tracks like "Blasphemy" now read as veiled calls to those named in federal filings, each word dissected as a potential key to the larger puzzle. Meanwhile, the Diddy-Jay-Z alliance, once untouchable, is cracking. Two titans who shared stages, million-dollar brunches, and even criminal trials side by side are now fighting for survival. Jay-Z is frantically cutting legal ties, denying everything, while Diddy languishes in a cell, facing a rap sheet so long it might need its own Wikipedia page. The alliance of billionaires era is under pressure, with headlines about Diddy's infamous outbursts, blackmail vaults, and the razor-thin line between hip-hop success and underworld intrigue. And it's not just them. The possibility of Shakur returning to testify has already shaken the community. Whispers suggest his testimony could take down anyone tied to this conspiracy. From former security chiefs to executives hiding in quiet, suburban lives, even Suge Knight, the last man standing among ghosts, might be pulled back into the spotlight for a final reckoning. Add to that the potential for more tape surfacing, phone calls, video, studio surveillance hidden in vaults across LA and New York, just waiting to explode. The psychological toll is immense. For millions who grew up with Shakur as a hero, Diddy as the soundtrack of their lives, and Jay-Z as a blueprint for ambition, the ground is trembling. If the stories are true, if justice finally lands, what does hip-hop look like when its founding fathers face trial? Not just for what happened in a Vegas car, but for building empires on deception. Is it time for a new generation to take the stage, or will Shakur return as the ultimate truth teller? With every leak, every court filing, and every rumor of a hidden vault, we move closer to an epic finale nobody predicted. Will the FBI finally deliver the receipts? Is this the end of an era, the beginning of an even bigger, messier chapter? And who else is about to get caught in the fallout? Drop your wildest theories in the comments. Keep your eyes open, your playlist ready, and stay tuned. This saga is far from over.